He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife. Rictus Grin, seen with trophy. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife appeared at a polo match. It was Harry's polo match, a charitable affair, and as his wife, she ought to have appeared in a supporting role, watching from the sidelines. However, we all know that because she is a narcissist, she has to make sure that it's about her. And what better way than ensuring it's all about her by enabling her to get in on all of the photographs as she presents the trophy. Nobody else's wife or girlfriend was involved in the presentation. Nobody else's wife or girlfriend was involved in the photographs. But that doesn't matter to this one's wife because she's utterly shameless. She has no comprehension of how she actually looks because her narcissism blinds her to it. This is why, on these occasions, she is able to come along clomping her cloven hooves as she elbows her way in. Irrespective of how ridiculous she looks, irrespective of how desperate for fuel and attention she is. Many people can see this, but she never can. And her behaviour was captured for the cameras, for the purposes of both Backgrid and Netflix. And we have an excerpt of her behaviour for you to view now, so that you can see the narcissist in action. The Rictus Grin makes an appearance. The reason being is that she feels powerful as a consequence of the fuel that she is receiving. She's getting attention from the intimate partner primary source, Harry, and it's proximate attention. He's physically proximate to her. So she's getting lots of fuel from him. The other players are non-intimate secondary sources. They're proximate also. So she's getting lots of fuel from them, although it's not as potent as that which comes from Harry. There will be an audience at the polo, non-intimate tertiary sources, again physically proximate, no doubt applauding, possibly cheering, and therefore that's even more fuel for her. She will also be contemplating the fact that this is being filmed and will be reported on, and therefore there's thought fuel on top. So the whole enterprise gives her a large amount of fuel, which makes her feel powerful. The provision of this fuel fills up the emptiness that exists within her. It quells that sense of anxiety. It calms the sense of impending doom. That recedes as the fuel flows towards her, not only silencing the creature, removing the anxiety, but then making her feel powerful, making her feel amazing as she laps up all of the fuel that's on offer. And she's able to do this, of course, because she's been allowed to present the trophy. It looks preposterous that once again she elbows her way in, but it's no surprise that we see the Rictus Grin presenting the trophy. Let's have a look at the footage, and then we'll dissect it.
Presented this beautiful trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, put your hands together for everybody. Well done, Jay Barnes, and Super Sussex, and also Candace, and Mr. Malcolm Morris. And of course, big thanks to the Duchess and Sussex for presenting the trophy. Everyone who's been a part of such a pleasure.
The organiser of the event passes her the trophy at the outset. That act of itself is a provision of fuel, and as she walks along the stage, there is applause from the non-intimate tertiary sources in the audience, which is providing her with fuel, and of course the polo players are all looking in her direction. One of them welcomes her on with a gesture from the arm, positive fuel from him. The others are clapping, also positive fuel, as she walks along straight up to Harry. And of course, his response, looking at her, provides her with fuel. She then kisses him, His kiss to her provides her with more positive fuel as she eventually hands over the trophy. You'll notice that she doesn't give it him straight away, that she still clings onto it. And then, of course, she's looking around, looking to lap up the fuel from other people around her, that she turns and positions herself right in the middle. Ordinarily, those that present trophies, awards, etc., hand it over, then move to one side to allow the recipients to bask in their appropriate level of glory. Think about the Oscars, for instance. When somebody's presented with their Oscar, the presenter doesn't continue to stand right next to them, chatting away to them, or wrapping their arm around them. The presenter moves to one side to allow the Oscar winner to make their speech and to be photographed, etc. They recognise it's not about them, it's about the winner. You'll notice, for instance, in other sporting events, when the trophy is handed over, the presenter of the trophy then moves to one side or backs off, applauding the relevant individual. Prince William often presents the FA Cup in the United Kingdom as being involved in the FA. He doesn't vault over the section of Wembley and stand with the captain of the winning team and jostle with the other winning players and say, "Hey, let me in on the picture, guys." He shakes hands and then hands over the trophy and then retreats and applauds. Why? Because he recognises it's not about him. But this one's wife, you don't get any of that. Oh, no. Not only is she slow to hand over the trophy, but then she needs to ensure that she's right in the middle of it all. Rather than move to one side and let the winning polo players receive their applause, receive the adoration of those watching, have their photographs taken, oh no, she has to be in the middle of it all. Looking around with that stupid Rictus grin on her face as she's lapping up the fuel. Look at me. You haven't won anything. You didn't play in the polo match. But that doesn't matter to this one's wife, because in her head, her narcissism is telling her, you're the greatest, you're amazing. And she looks around. And then, of course, has to make a quip to Harry to continue to draw fuel from him, making sure that she's the one that's seen. And she's wrapping her arms around the players, etc., as she ensures that it's all about her. It is pathetic, the way that she behaves, but it isn't a surprise. We're not surprised by this activity at all. She has done this time and time again, trying to take the microphone off the woman at the Kevin Costner event, interrupting Harry's handshake to hug somebody, more or less pushing Harry out of the way to address a group of men, leaving him relegated in the background, looking sad and somewhat pathetic, repeatedly walking in front of people so that she's the one that's seen, going over to people in the crowd when somebody was making a speech so attention is drawn onto her. It's all because of her narcissism, that she needs to control those around her and she needs to receive the fuel. Naturally, most people watching it shake their heads and think, look at that. Wholly pathetic. The necessity of drawing that fuel, of asserting control, means that she puts herself at the centre of it all, even though she's had nothing to do with the match itself. She didn't play, she didn't win. But of course, she steals the glory by way of character trait acquisition. It's shameless and pathetic, but she doesn't see it. She simply doesn't see it. I know there'll be those of you watching who think, surely she must feel some degree of embarrassment at the way that she behaves. No, she doesn't, because the narcissism tells her she's entitled to be there, that it's actually about her, that they're lucky to be posing with her, that they are thrilled to receive the trophy from her because she's the most important person on the planet. Thus, you get to see the Rictus grin, you get to see the idiotic looking around and scanning, and as ever, muscling her way in at the centre. Nothing changes. Now, you also are probably aware that there's a bit more footage in relation to her wanting a woman to get out of the way. We're going to analyse that in the next video, so make sure you stick around. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.